tax season is in full swing and you are probably working on your own taxes as we speak if you are located here in the US. Now, I know a lot of y'all will probably be looking forward to those IRS refund checks, and I want you to be prepared for the potential scams that are currently going around. So as a part of my ongoing security and privacy series of videos, this fit right in because there's a lot of new techniques being used by criminals to steal your private data and potentially steal that refund check. Hey, I'm Shannon Morse. I make videos about security and privacy online for the average user. This is my full-time job. I am super passionate about protecting people from scammers, so I hope that this video helps. Gabriel, Michael, and Keith made this video possible by supporting me on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee, where you can also get access to perks every single month if you become a patron of my channel. So here are 3 new techniques that are currently being used by scammers this year in the wild. The first one actually got the FBI talking. Now, this one led to the FBI releasing a public service announcement that says that criminals are sending out fake and fraudulent 1099-K forms. People who have received fake 1099s, which report income that you've received over the last year from all sorts of different companies, say that they have not actually made that money. The FBI believes that these fake forms are being sent to people by criminals who somehow got a hold of people's personally identifiable information, and they were able to fraudulently open accounts with e-commerce companies as these third-party sellers. So that means a person would be paying taxes on money that they did not actually earn, while a criminal is reaping the benefits. Now, the second technique is nothing new, but this one is currently being used, and that is called phishing, where a criminal basically sprays and prays, as in they send out potentially thousands of emails to random people in the hopes that maybe, just maybe, 1 or 2 of those people will click on it and fall for their scam, and oftentimes this does happen. Now, if you're watching this video, it sounds like something that you would catch, right? Well, they are getting more sophisticated and they are getting harder to catch. Sometimes your email provider will not automatically stick these in your spam box or delete them for you, so you might still see them show up. This is why it is so important to know what's going on so that you can be alert whenever you check your email. So the question is, how do cyber criminals steal this information? Well, they probably know that you are going to pay attention to an email that says that it's from the IRS, because it sounds like something you might want to know about. So they are sending out massive amounts of emails to pretend to be from the IRS, and they include a malicious file attachment. This attachment has a zip file that says it's a W-9 form, and a password is provided in the body of the text in the email so that you can open up that zip file. See, W-9 forms are commonly used for employees to associate your SSN or taxpayer ID number. It's common to fill these out and then sometimes update them with your new information whenever your details change or you move. But in this case, it's not really a W-9 form that you are opening. It's actually an XLM file inside the zip attachment, and whenever you open it, it has a bunch of code written into the file called macros. When you open the file, it will ask you with a little prompt to enable macros, and when you do that, you are actually allowing the file to download malware onto your computer, which is called Emotet. Now, Emotet malware is used by criminals, and it has been used for many years to steal banking and personal information. It's spread through spam emails, and it can work its way through an infected system to also spread to your contact list and potentially infect them too. Now, because of issues like this, Microsoft did decide to disable macros by default in their newest version of Excel from January, but that does not mean that you should just let your guard down. There's also a second email scam that's also going around. This is the 3rd scam for this video, and this one also pretends to be from the IRS, and it asks for the recipient to fill out a non-resident alien W-8 form for taxes. Now, even though this second example includes a file attachment that itself is not malicious, it does not download malware onto your computer or anything, but it does request that you fill out the form, then fax it back to a specific number. It's 2020 2022, I'm not sure why these cyber criminals are asking you to fax a form back. Not a lot of people have fax machines in their households and we're all working from home, but it's still happening and people are still falling for it. Now, it is likely that attackers are using this one to steal personally identifiable information via the forms. So how do you protect yourself? Well, that's actually something that I focus on with this YouTube channel as well, so listen up because I have a bunch of pro tips. By the way, I just hit 75,000 subscribers on my channel. That's so exciting, but I do have another big goal that I'm getting super close to. I don't want to announce it, but it's a secret goal that I'm very excited to get to. So if this video was valuable, show your thanks by subscribing. It's a simple click and it helps me grow my business. All right, so how do you recognize and protect against these kind of attacks? Well, as for those fake 1099s that the FBI alerted us about, one signal that you have been targeted is if you start receiving random returned packages related to sales with an e-commerce company prior to getting the fake 1099 from said company. Now, since attackers are pretending to be you using personal information, protecting your personal information online also helps, as can reporting the fraudulent forms ASAP to the IRS. Personally, I use a website called Abind's Delete Me to remove my personally identifying information, or PII, from any search databases that collect and store your information. So that could be sites like Spokeo, White Pages, People Lookup. There's a ton of them, and they collect information like your address, like physical address, your phone number, your full name, etc. And it's totally without your consent. It's incredibly annoying to opt out of all of these, and they make it really hard. So I just pay for a service to do it for me. They aren't a sponsor, but if they were, I would absolutely sing praises either way because I love their service. They automate the process of removing your information so you don't have to waste time doing it yourself. I will put my referral link down below, which anybody who's a customer can have their own referral link. So this is not just a me thing. If you want to sign up for it, because it does save some money, and I think it's so worth it because I have saved probably days worth of opting out of each of these separate websites just by signing up and letting them automate this for me. It's amazing. I love their website so much. So that was Abind Delete Me. And as for the emails, a lot of times the email address in the from line will be something really weird. It won't be from the IRS. It could be from like Gmail or .cz, unrelated to the government agency that it's pretending to come from. The body of text can often have really weird grammatical issues or spelling errors, so scrutinize the text. If you see something that's spelled wrong, it didn't come from the government. Now, unfortunately, this is not always necessarily the case all the time, though. They could be written by someone fairly well-versed in social engineering tactics, and they could do a really good job of spelling everything. So a major point to make here is that the IRS does not send out emails about tax issues. They never do that. The IRS does not send out emails about tax issues. So if you get an email that says it's from the IRS, it's not from the IRS. They send you snail mail. They always just send it through a letter. And if you use USPS informed delivery, it probably freaks you out if you see that message before going to check your mail. It totally stresses me out whenever I see like a mailer from the IRS, but it's usually just like some informational thing. So if you are getting emails from the IRS, that's a huge red flag. It's probably a scammer. It's better to just call the IRS and go through their own online website to find the answer that you are looking for, especially if you think there's a problem with your taxes or your forms. Now, if you do get these kind of emails, just ignore them. Even if you know it's a scam and you reply and you tell them that they're a big douchebag for sending you that email, or if you do anything that alerts the attacker that your email account is active and it's being checked, then the scammer will likely add your email address to a list for future spam or scams because they now know that there is a human on the other side looking through that inbox, and you could potentially fall for future scams, even if you caught this one. So just ignore it. Now, lastly, and this does not necessarily have to do with the email scams or the fraudulent forms that we are seeing this year, but I did want to mention tax scams over calls. Luckily on Android, scam and spam protection is built in, so anytime I receive a call that is likely from a scammer, it's automatically blocked. And I love that feature on Android. But if you do receive a call and you pick it up and it says it's about your taxes, hang up. This is another instance where we see something that the IRS never does. The IRS does not call people. You have to initiate that call. And again, if they do see a problem with your taxes, they will most likely just send you snail mail, not email, not a call. Now I realize sometimes random anecdotal instances will happen, so this is very general information to help protect yourself around tax season. I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there, myself included, who have seen these scams in action and think, well shoot, I would never fall for that, but you aren't constantly going to be on high alert. There will be days when your attention is taken up by other factors in your life, or you are too busy to pay attention to the emails that you're checking, or maybe you just want the problem to go away quickly instead of scrutinizing something to tell if it's a scam or not. I mean, we're all humans. We have pets to take care of, and some people have children, and we have full-time work schedules, and we have after-hour events that we're planning, and we have maintenance issues that we have to deal with the apartment that you rent, or maybe your house. Like I just had to put in radon mitigation. We're all humans, we all make mistakes, and I understand that. Even the most privacy and security minded folks out there can fall for these scams. So use this video as a reminder that anything can happen, and please share it with the people who matter most to you. I really hope that it saves at least just one person from the headache of having to deal with a scam.